When the world didn't want me and made me feel small, all I am is broken inside. Some echo identity who can't find his shadow always hurts mentally. Echo Identity is this mental health music project that I've been working on for the past 2 years. So far, everything I've done with it has been concept. It's been just jotting down notes on my phone. Like I'll sit in my car and I will write down lyrics if I come up with something or I think of something. And I've been doing that since 2022. It started when I started making music on another project, and it was just, I was using samples, I was using like my own lyrics that I came up with, and it was all in fun, really. It was all because of a game, and I thought it kind of felt therapeutic to me to do all that, and I wanted to take that somewhere else. I wanted to do something with music. And I've always been into music. Ever since I was a kid, I've always wanted to sing. I've always tried singing, even in the car, or, whether it be at school or something like that. I've always listened to music. Music has always been a factor in my life, and it's never gone away. Even 2021 is when I discovered so much music, and then I discovered so much more about myself that I wanted to kind of explore. And that's kind of what I'm doing with this project. So let's just kind of talk about what this all is, because obviously, for those who are interested in this project, for those who follow me on my other channels, you want to know what this is about. You want to know what I'm getting myself into here. So this whole thing is it's a whole concept of kind of battling with light and dark, and trying to face those realities, kind of face these different sides of me that I don't want to talk about, that I haven't talked about. I wanted to kind of bring out some of my inner thoughts, stuff that's going on with me mentally, stuff that I'm dealing with, stuff that I've dealt with, and I wanted to put it in song form, and I wanted to put this all onto a song. So this project is a concept of 3 albums. So I would like to do 3 albums, whether or not there's a release timeline for those or not. For my first album, I want to talk about everything that's kind of been dark in my life. Talk about the kind of this is the beginning. There's going to be a beginning, middle, and end for these 3 albums. So the beginning is going to be a self-titled album. It's going to be talking about everything that I struggle with, everything that's at my core, that I wanted to write about. There's a total of 14 songs per album, per record, if you will. But we'll call it an album because I don't consider it a record. But the whole thing is that each album has a theme, but basically the beginning is the dark, and then the middle is kind of battling through the dark, going to kind of a gray area type of deal, seeing a middle portion of the journey, and then the end is the light. So I wanted to make kind of a negative record, a neutral record, and a positive record. That's kind of what I wanted to do. These three albums are going to be it for the most part. And I'm super excited to drop these concept albums because it's just something I wanted to do for the longest time. I wanted to create music, but I wanted to create music in a way where, I knew I could do it. I just wanted to discover, what Echo Identity is. The whole name Echo Identity comes from wanting to be someone else or seeing another version of yourself that you don't recognize because you're not that person. And that's kind of what I see from it is this whole project is exploring parts of myself that I want to be, or that I want to see, or that I want to become. It's such a difficult thing to look at. You wanna be someone else, right? But you can't get there yet because you haven't experienced life enough to know that. So this whole first album is going to be talking about what I struggle with as my own self, but also exploring the concepts of what I could be. I think that's what I'm trying to go for. And whether or not these 3 albums come out how I want them to come out, I'm still going to be excited to, release these. That's what I'm taking from this is I'm excited to make some music. I'm excited to pour my heart out into the lyrics, and I hope my singing voice is, up to par with what standards are nowadays. But regardless, I want to put my heart out onto this whole project. It's 3 albums. That's all it's going to be. There's going to be nothing else but that. But I have no release timelines for anything. If I want to release something, if I think it's ready, I will post it. Also, to add on to the complexities of this project, I'm doing a lot of stuff differently than I do with my other two projects that I have going on, which is like, I have two other channels that I work on, but also this project being what it is, I want to introduce more stuff to it. What we're going to be doing differently here with Echo Identity is I'm going to be starting a Patreon, which I've never been a fan of Patreon, not in the slightest, but because of how this is all music and it's all relating to a lot of hard work that I gotta put into this. I want to throw a Patreon up just because I feel like if people do like what I'm putting out, if you guys like what I'm putting out here, I have this Patreon available. You guys can support me if you want to. You do not have to. It's not required. I want to throw it up for like, behind the scenes stuff, music previews, stuff like that, and like vocal previews, anything to do with the project itself. I'll also be opening a new Discord server up for Echo Identity if you guys want to chat in there and discuss with me on this whole album concept or this whole project concept. I think it'd be cool to discuss with other people. I'll also be doing merch for Echo Identity, specifically AI merch. I want to throw up some of the artwork that I'm using for all of the music, whether it be Echo Identity or any of the other songs that we'll release, even like album artwork. For most of this project, though, I will be using AI, so that'll be kind of interesting. Same goes for like the music videos. The music videos will all be AI, using a lot of AI art. Yeah, I'm also using like an AI like music video maker, which is cool. It's called Kyber. Kyber is what it's called. Other things you'll see from me, like cryptic weird posts. I will only be releasing this music on Spotify, so if you guys want to listen to it, the only way you can listen to it is on Spotify. I don't want to use anything else other than that. I'd rather just use Spotify, as it is simple to just upload on there, and I don't really care about the other streaming services or whatever. And then in terms of what genre this project is going to be, it's kind of hard to say, but I want to use. I believe this will be like a kind of alternative indie prog emo acoustic folk rock project. I know it sounds crazy. It's a lot of genres, but something along those lines. You got vocals. I want to use like guitar, specifically acoustic guitar. Banjo's even a possibility. I don't know. That depends. Bass guitar, maybe drums, percussion, piano, keyboards. I want to use a lot of different sounds in my music because I want to have like a different vibe. I don't want this to be like a pop punk project. I don't want it to be a metal project, even though I love those genres. I've always surrounded myself with chill music though, like really laid back music, and I think a lot of people will relate to that, and that's what this project is going to be. You guys will see it, you can experience it for yourself. So if you want to, listen,